Hey everyone, this is Dalton at Daltonians TFs, and as you can see, we've got Leader Class Ultra Magnus from the Combiner Wars here. I literally just got done recording the Wild Rider or Breakneck review at the time, of this recording. This will be going up before, the Wild Rider and Quickslinger reviews. It's hype, man. I gotta review this thing. I cannot wait to get this thing open. So let's go to the back. 25 steps. Go from Ultra Magnus in direct mode to robot mode. 3 steps for Minimus Ambus, which obviously is included. And it says here on the bio, well, there it is if you want to read it. But the legend of Ultra Magnus is exceeded only by the legend of Optimus Prime. When Ultra Magnus was lost, the forces of justice would not let a warrior of his caliber fall. Minimus Ambus, using the power of his rare low barrier spark, enables Ultra Magnus to fight on. So, well, there's your artist rendition of Minimus Ambus and Ultra Magnus. So let's go ahead and get this thing open and go from there. Alright, and here we have Ultra Magnus in vehicle mode, and I'm going to try and make this video as short as I can. Got a lot of comparisons to do, and yeah. But anyways, here we got Ultra Magnus, and he looks pretty good. I mean, the red is kind of iffy on me, but from what we've seen at Toy Fair and transition to actual physical form, I am so happy with this. The cab is really nice. Got a lot of nice molded in detail and painted detail. Huge grille with the Autobot symbol on it, the diagonal headlights, and even the silver stripe with a lot of nice detail through there. You got the painted windows, kind of small. Even got some detailing in on the exhaust pipe. And a ladder with a very small door. And I can't remember if the guy at the Hasbro booth showing these off said it was going to be 1/44 scale or 1/72 scale, but either way, the scale of this is massive. I mean, you can see another door there, little railing here, ladder here, all this molded in detail. You got an outrigger right there, ladder, railing. Let's move the gun, and then you get another little door there. I guess these are like blast doors or something. But yeah, just so much molded in detail. Even this little bit of tubing right here, like a ducting, I guess. Go ahead and put that back on. But it does roll fairly nice. I know out of package it lifted up on the cab a little bit, but I just unscrewed this because you are able to, and you can remove the cab by doing so. But it just allowed me to be able to do this now. So, and it does rotate on a full axis a lot more than the Masterpiece can. There we go. Zoom out here. You got your missile launchers. It would have been nice if they could have attached up here too, but I'm fine with it. Got your little red detailing back here. As far as functionality, the trailer does open up. And you can take your Legends class figures and pile them on in. Now this only works with 2 Deluxe, so in my mind it's meant to be for your Legends or even Scout class figures, like we got Wind Charger right here. The good Wind Charger. So yeah, and you just make sure these go into their little tabs. So now you have got Ultra Magnus carrying some Autobots. Now, I've been hearing stories of major QC problems, and as far as I can tell, I don't have any of those. I've even recently on Twitter seen someone post a picture of this, and the spelling on Ultra Magnus was wrong. It was like Ultar MC or MG Suna. So I don't know what was going on with Hasbro, why we're having so many quality control issues, but I'm glad I didn't get any of those problems in mind. So let's go ahead and get into our comparisons. Let's bring in Rodimus, or as some people may know him as, Kingslayer. So there's that. And let's bring him in with another Combiner Wars leader, that being Megatron. So he's a bit bigger than Megatron in vehicle mode, but he is significantly lighter, and mainly due to the fact that he's a hollow trailer. Let's go ahead and bring in Classics Prime. There's that. Combiner Wars Prime, practically the same size, just a smidge bigger. And let's go ahead and bring in some of the Season 3 or movie Autobots, being Springer, bringing Rodimus here, Then we got blur up on the trailer. We got cup and RC. So there's the full group. I don't have a whole lot of junkions. I've only got the one junkie. But with those out of the way, we'll go over just a couple more things here. Well, just one, and that is Minimus Ambus. He is a very tiny little figure. I mean, he is about... So here is Flanker compared to Minimus Ambus in his alt mode, and pretty much the same size. So yeah. And then here he is next to a Lego minifigure, again, a little bit bigger. So the transformation for this guy is pretty simple. You just unfold the legs, and they are on little tabs. So just gotta unclip those. And untab the arms, and it's on this double hinge. It's a little difficult to get to. I mean, there you go. So there is Minimus Ambus in robot mode, and again, a lot of nicely molded detail. I do like how they got the little mustache and goatee, the little red eyes, even some of this darker green on through here. I wish they could have done that, maybe in a couple of other spots, maybe added some black wash. Well, pretty well, nicely done. Ball jointed shoulders, nothing at the head, ball jointed hips, and hinge at the knees. Now comparing him again to these smaller figures, he is now a little bit bigger than a Lego minifigure. And again, a little bit bigger than the little Micromaster guys. So let's just set him aside, and then we'll focus now on Magnus himself. So again, with the guns, even a ton of molded in detail. Even though it's hollowed out, it does look decent. I mean, even on the clip here, if I can get it, there we go. You can actually see some ridging in there. Just looks really well done. Even this weird little gun, I mean, you get some detail molded in through here, and zoom in here. You got that there, and then on the other side, it's up here. So it's just so much done. And for the missiles, not really anything. They don't launch, unfortunately, but let's go ahead and take those off, because we are going to start transforming this guy. First step we want to do is just slide the cab back, untab these ramps, and again, well, one thing you can do is you can actually bring this down and use it as a ramp. So you have that. One thing I forgot to show off earlier, just untab these from here, get them out of the way, slide them up. That'll be for robot mode. Rotate these out of the way so you can work with the back half of the trailer. Untab these side panels, rotate them up. I want to untab these side, these bigger side panels that will form the side of his legs, and then rotate up this. This will become the chest piece, and bring this whole section down. Same on this side. Actually, just make sure these are out of the way. Then from here, you want to untab this from the side. Just untab it from the side here and rotate it down, and then this little tab right there will go right into that slot there. So just like that. Should zoom in a little bit here. Straighten out the feet, rotate up the panel, and that will tab into the hole here and this little slot here. So just like that. Same on the other side, except this side is a lot more scary. You'll probably hear it too. It'll make a loud popping sound. Just something about that. I'm going to have to get in there with a file or something and shave it down a little bit. And then double tap again into the side and the front. And fold these little red panels up against the leg. You got a tab right here. Little slot right there. Just like that. And just like that. There we go. Just make sure these feet are straightened out. There we go. Then let's raise up this camera. You want to bring this cab up and rotate it around, and that will just fold straight down. Fold this whole red section up, and there's a cutout right here. Those wheels will just sit right in there. We want to leave this open just for the time being, and rotate these shoulder pieces into place. Well, this one kind of tabs in, but this one just rests there. I want to open up the front end of the truck, revealing Ultra Magnus's head, rotating it back. From here, you just want to straighten out the arms, and these will double hinge into place, or accordion, if you will. And just for the time being, let's go ahead and take a look at this, and we will see all the nicely molded in detail of the control center. Got little heads-up displays, buttons, levers, dials, switches. Again, on this side you get more monitors and levers and buttons, readouts. Even here you got some tubing that will go into Minimus's legs. You got pedals here, a couple of other little control sticks here on the side. You get this right here, right there, even on the further on the inside. So much detail. I wish they could have done like a little black wash to highlight it all. I know someone out there, I think Cheetamus has done a lot of painted detail, and I'm pretty sure Repro Labels will come out with some as well. As for putting Minimus in there, you got these two little tabs on his legs. Well, one tab on each leg. You got these little slots right here. Just want to spread his legs a little bit. Just get him to sit in there, just push those back. Try and get him to sit down, so bend him at the waist, then push him back at the knees while his arms are forward still. And these little holes in his fist will go right over those little levers. And there you've got Minimus Ambus ready, so just go ahead and close this up and fold up the chest. And there you've got Ultra Magnus, IDW style. Now, let's go ahead and well, actually, hang on. Now, in my mind, this is a great homage to the IDW version, but also a great homage to the G1. If you want your perfect G1 figure, you're going to have to get the Masterpiece. But I'm extremely happy with this. I haven't read any of the comics, and I still love this thing. I think it's just I don't know what to call it, like hype, or I'm just gushing over it because I like Ultra Magnus. I mean, at this point anymore, who doesn't? But as far as his weapons go, you can put these missiles on the sides of this little gun and plug this rifle into the bottom. And there you've got the obligatory Magnus hammer. Apparently, ever since animated, Hasbro's thought that, oh, well, let's always give Ultra Magnus a hammer. And so now you got him with the big hammer. I wish they could have given him wrists to hold it with both hands, but if you don't like the gun sticking out, you can leave his hand closed up, pull this out, and he starts to fall again. It's the only issue I have with this guy as far as articulation and his, well, with his stability rather than his articulation. Just open this hand up, and this little gun right here will just tap right in. And there's his little rifle and a Mjolnir style hammer. So that's if you want to use the missiles as the heads of a hammer. Me personally, I'm just going to have them on the sides as per traditional Ultra Magnus. Which I do like the double missiles. I had it with, City Commander when I had him. I sold him not too long ago, actually. And, I really like this. It has a few problems, but that just comes with how he's designed. Like the fact that these guns don't have any sort of tabs on them to help them stay in place. They just rely on these kind of weak joints on the hands to hold them. I mean, you can try moving the leg, and the gun is about to fall out. So, that's my main concern with this. As far as articulation goes, let's go ahead and get these guns out of here. Shoulders rotate 360, nothing hindering them. They are on soft detinted ratchets. There are these little panels that allow you to rotate out the shoulder. Bicep swivel, ratcheted elbow. His hands open and close, head is on a swivel. Ratcheted hips, really heavy ratchets. They only go about that far though, just due to how his leg is molded. Goes out 90 degrees, rotates at the thigh. Another heavy, well, not so heavy, but another ratchet at the knee. And he's got double jointed feet. As far as other details, I really love what they've done with the head sculpt. A lot of people I've heard don't care much for the eyes being so close to the same color as the rest of his face, but that's kind of how Magnus always was. He had the very pale metallic blue eyes and the silver face. Do like these little antenna, and then even molding in that crevice right through the center of his forehead or his crest. Really nicely done, and I couldn't be happier, unless, you know, some of the problems with the design were fixed. But the way it turned out, it's just great so far. So let me do some more comparisons. Alright, and here we have our first comparison, and yes, it is the G1 1986 movie cover art style, or, you know, poses. And let's go ahead and throw in some Lost Light crew members. Yeah, I know I don't have all of them, and not all of them are completely accurate that I have either, but still, part of the crew of the Lost Light. I mean, if you want to, you can even bring in, and, well, actually, we'll say that for another comparison, but yeah. So there he is with most of the Lost Light crew. So let's get these out of here, and let's go ahead and compare him to Combiner Wars Prime. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and bring in Classics Prime. Now, I think the size difference works better with the Combiner Wars, but you can still put it with your Classics if you choose to. I mean, they're both from the same line. And here we have him next to Rodimus with the Protector armor. So he pretty much towers over Rodimus. And finally, let's compare him to some leader class. Let's do it with the first Autobot, or only other Autobot besides Magnus, and that's Jetfire. He is a little bit taller at the head, but when it comes to the shoulder pads to, you know, the rockets, pretty much the same. And let's go ahead and bring in Megatron. So there's that. And I wish I had the Minor Wars Cyclonus so I can close those two together, because, you know, they're enemies. Same with him and Six Shot. Yeah, pretty close to the same height. I mean, especially, well, if you do it the way the instructions tell you, then he's a little bit shorter. The way I've got him set up, he's just at the same height. So I mean, that works. I mean, he's not a bad size. He feels smaller than he is, in my opinion, if that makes any sense. Ultra Magnus is one of my favorite figures so far out of Combiner Wars. Megatron is still really up there. I mean, they pretty much tie, in my opinion. Just Magnus is fantastic, considering his molding design issues, and, well, the fact that I'm lucky enough to not have any of the bad quality control issues. So if I were to give this guy a rating, it'd be, you know, buy him now if you haven't yet. I mean, he's going to be going fast, and yeah, it's just really great figure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Ultra Magnus. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and check out my links down in the description below. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Deltanians TFs. Again, those will be down in the description below, and you'll be able to see a full gallery of this guy there, along with a couple of edited pictures. I know one's going to end up being the cover or the thumbnail for this video, but I'll also put it there so you can see a larger version of it. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you all next time. Oh, and one final note before I go. FunPub, Hasbro, make a Delta Magnus out of this guy, or do a little bit of retooling to the head and make him Sentinel Maximus with Minimus Ambus as Ape Link. Perfect ideas right there, ready for you to do. Just do not do Shining Magnus. Hell, if you want, you can do a Killing Jar Ultra Magnus, so there's that. So other than that, see you guys next time.